The Jake Asman Show will begin shortly. Thanks to all these great Patreon members who help support the show. Get your super chats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
Aaron Glenn was criticized by a popular ESPN radio host. Was it fair or foul? We'll talk about that and much more. It's the Jake Asman Show. Let's hit it and get it started. Man, our Jets are primed to win another offseason, baby. We bleed Jets green each and every day. Will the playoff drought finally end? Kings of the offseason, baby. This is what we do. At least we have Garrett Wilson. We have Breece Hall. Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super chat, baby. Cut the line. We have Sauce Gardner. We have Quinn Williams. Prepare to be underdogs. Now it's time to talk all things New York Jets. It's the Jake Asman Show. Here we go, here on a Tuesday. Welcome in, everybody. Please click the like button and spread the word. This is the place to be for daily Jets talk. Even on June 17th, when we still have over 30 days until Jets training camp officially gets underway. Speaking of the Jets, if you want to join me and a bunch of Asmaniacs in Tampa Bay for the Jets and the Bucks, I checked in with the Jets fan group down in Tampa. There still are discounted group tickets in sections 100s, 200s, or the 300s available. Join my Patreon to get access to that and to get access to our discount hotel block at Hotel Tampa Riverwalk. We're going to have a Saturday party the night before the game at Gaspar's Patio Bar and Grill. We have info on a Sunday morning tailgate right outside the stadium. You can see it there on the screen. So it's going to be a great weekend. This year's Asmaniac road trip down in Tampa. All the info is available all in one spot, patreon.com/Jake Asman Show. Get in the Discord, check the Tampa Bay Bucks tab, and you will see everything that you might be needing. With that said, let's talk about some criticism that was levied at Jets coach Aaron Glenn. Alan Hahn on the afternoon show, Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg on 880 ESPN New York, and that's the station I host on, so everyone should be listening to ESPN New York. Download the app if you haven't. Alan Hahn criticized Aaron Glenn's messaging to the media during one of Glenn's press conferences last week at Jets minicamp. This was the segment on the show where they played a clip from AG and then Hahn having criticisms of what Aaron Glenn said. I'll play the full thing and you guys tell me, is this a legit criticism or is this unfair to Aaron Glenn?
Aaron Glenn asked about minicamp attendance.
Is everyone here on the roster?
You tell me.
I mean, it looked like everyone was here.
There you go.
Okay. On the culture.
Culture is all about people. So you bring the right people in the building, that determines what kind of culture you're going to have. Now, listen, I give the guys before this regime, before we got here, credit because listen, we don't have any just bad guys. I think we have a bunch of good guys on this team. So I give those guys a lot of credit for the guys they have here. So now our job is to make sure we steer them in the right direction, the way that we want to play football, the way that we want to operate, the way that we want this building to be. And to me, that's what culture is. And
I just want to say this.
Go ahead.
I want Aaron Glenn to be the best coach they've had since Bill Parcells. Okay, that's what I want.
That's a nice thought.
That's what I want. And his connection to Bill Parcells makes me believe he should be successful. And I loved him as a Jet. So all these things are now separate from what I'm about to say. He needs to drop the act now. Please don't address the media as if they're players. Don't do this. Don't go to the podium. And I know that's probably how he sounds when he talks to the players. This is how he's very direct. Right. And that's exactly how you should talk to your players. Don't do this with media. When you're asked a question like, are all the players here today? Are all the players on the field? Don't ask me what I think or what I saw. I'm asking you for a reason, not because I'm a moron and I can't count. I need you to say it. Like, he needs media training. Aaron Glenn needs media training right now. because this can go the wrong way fast.
Well,
this is all fun in games. This is great in preseason. This is great in training camp. But when we get to the season and your team loses a game or two, this act gets tired fast. And you're not going to like the questions you're going to get. So he needs to understand that when you go to the podium, the simplest thing you do is just answer the question and keep it moving. Don't play this game of like, now you're my players and I'm going to tell you how. No. I'm asking you for a reason. I don't need you to start lecturing me and treating me like I'm one of your minions. I'm not. I'm a guy writing a story or covering your team with information that I need from you. And a lot of times it's your voice I need because I know who's here. But I need you to say it because it's more important when the head coach addresses it. So please stop talking that way at the podium. Thank you.
So I disagree with Alan here because I think if you listen to Aaron Glenn every time he has spoken since he's been the Jet coach, I don't think it's an act, right? Alan said in those comments there, drop the act. I think this is who Aaron Glenn is. I think he's authentically himself, right? So I don't think it's an act how he's up there dealing with the media. I also think he's not always that abrasive or whatever the term you want to be every single time. I think it happened to be maybe in those answers that it comes across a little bit like that. But all I could tell you is the people that have been there every day, right? The guys on the beat that we've had on the show, they all say Glenn has been great for them so far, right? Even Rich Samini, who Glenn's had some interesting back and forths with because Rich knows Glenn and Glenn knows Rich. Rich was there when Glenn was a player. So he's comfortable with him. He knows him a long time. Rich said in his article on Sunday that it's not a stretch to say that Aaron Glenn has, quote, won the offseason. So I think anyone that's actually there, that's covering the Jets day in, day out, doesn't feel the way Allen feels just hearing a couple sound bites from a press conference. But I don't think it's an act. That's where I disagree the most with Allen. I think this is just who Glenn is. I think he is someone that does come from that old school Bill Parcells football school of thought, right? But I think Glenn has also shown the ability to adapt and get with the times, right? I mean, his biggest mentor is not just Bill Parcells. Count the amount of times Aaron Glenn has given proper credit to Dan Campbell. Dan Campbell is a player's coach, right? Dan Campbell is a guy that everybody loves. He's a guy that you'd run through a brick wall for. He's got a lovable personality. We saw that on Hard Knocks for those who tuned in a few summers ago. So I don't think it's an act. I don't think Glenn's trying to be Parcells. I actually think this is who he is. And that doesn't mean he's going to be a good coach or he's going to be a bad coach. We will ultimately find out. He's got to win games. That's the bottom line. I've said this over and over again. Robert Saleh was the top coaching hire of that cycle a couple of years back when the Jets hired him. All gas, no break. And we barely saw that energy level from Saleh when he became a head coach. So you just never know how a guy is going to go from coordinator to the CEO of the football team. You don't know. But I don't think it's an act, and I don't think he needs media training. I think Glenn is comfortable in his own skin. I think this is just who he is. I think whether or not he's going to be a good head coach, I think will have very little to do with how he handles the media, how he handles being asked these questions. He's got to win games. That's the bottom line. No one cared how Bill Belichick acted with the media because he won. It only became a problem when they started sucking. I think Glenn's authentic. I think Robert Saleh at times sounded a bit like a used car salesman. He would try to tell you everything's okay when it certainly wasn't, right? He'd plead the fifth on the same radio station we're playing this audio from when asked about why he wouldn't play a certain quarterback. And also, I have respect for people in the media. I am in the media, although I'm not a reporter. I'm a fan that does a talk show on Sirius and ESPN. Some of the questions these guys get asked are really stupid. So I never really have a problem if a player or a coach pushes back on a dumb question at times. I don't, right? We're putting these people on the spot, asking for answers. If the question is lazy or crappy, personally, it doesn't bother me if they push back a little bit. But I don't think anything Glenn did there is an act, and I don't think he needs media training. I think he is who he is, right? Aaron Glenn doesn't need media training. He was a player who got interviewed. He was a coach who's been interviewed. He's been around it, man. Aaron Glenn's been around football a long time. He was a big-time draft prospect coming out of Texas A&M, one of the biggest college football programs out there. I rather Aaron Glenn be like that with the media than Saleh, who's texting with all the reporters behind the scenes, the Curry favor, right? I mean, we love Joe B on this show. He's texting with Beningo. Like, I think we got to tone down the attention the Jets are getting. And I think if the attention is on Aaron Glenn and not any other distractions, I think he's built to handle it. So I don't think personally it's an act at all. I disagree with Allen's criticism. Now, the one thing I do agree with him on to an extent is that if the Jets are losing games, right, if they're not good, and most people don't think this team is going to be very good this year, we will see. Their win total's 5.5 for a reason. I think they could be a little better than that, but I don't have them making the playoffs. Too many question marks. The thing I agree with Allen on, for the most part, is if Glenn gets up there and is combative after every game, right? They lose a bad game to the Pittsburgh Steelers week 1 to Aaron Rodgers, and he gets combative out there, it will get ugly. Like, I do think he's going to have to be able to handle some adversity and not just snap. People like the brash and the confidence bordering on cockiness, right? When you win. We loved Rex Ryan in this town. And then when the Jets started to lose with Rex Ryan, it then became, he's a distraction. Oh, it's a clown show. And people couldn't wait to take their shots at the Jets because Rex was very polarizing. Glenn is not polarizing to the extent Rex was, but you know there's people on the beat. You know there's people in this media market with big microphones that can't wait to destroy Aaron Glenn if he gets into it with a media member after the Jets lose 30-3 to the Buffalo Bills, right? And that better not happen. But I have a lot of faith in Aaron Glenn as far as being able to handle all that. I don't think this is an act at all. I think at times you could say maybe it was an act with Saleh. I don't think it's an act with Glenn. I think he is truly this guy that we have heard so far. Right? Maybe if we just heard that cut and that was the only thing we've heard from Glenn, maybe I would understand a little more where Allen's coming from. But since Glenn has been here, he's been that guy every opportunity. He's been that guy. And I'd never shared this story, but I figured it's a good time. When I was at the Combine, I met Aaron Glenn briefly. And I spoke with him briefly. He's the exact same guy. I'm not going to detail anything that was said because it's not that big of a deal in the grand scheme of things, but the exact persona that we have seen at the podium, that's just who he is. He's a very intense guy. But we've seen the buy-in from the players, right? The Jets had 91% attendance through all the voluntary workouts. Glenn said in Detroit the highest they ever had was in the 80%. So there's a buy-in right now. But the thing I do agree with Allen on, if he's combative after losses, every time that act will wear thin with the fans. It's fun right now when, pushing back on the media, Glenn, no nonsense, things are going to change. But the idea that this is an act, I don't think that's fair. I think this is who he is. If he drastically changes during the year, then maybe it's an act. But that doesn't seem like Aaron Glenn. Go back and watch his press conferences with the Lions. Same guy. This is who he is. And I think coming off the Robert Saleh and Joe Douglas regime, I think this is the type of voice and leader they need. Now, Glenn carries himself like he's been a head coach before, which might be a good thing. We'll find out. But everyone's saying it's very Parcells-like. It reminds you of Parcells. He's never won anything before as a head coach. Bill Parcells had 2 Super Bowl rings by the time he took over the Jets. He had been to a 3rd Super Bowl with the Patriots. So this is not quite the same thing. But that doesn't mean the Parcells influence won't help Glenn, but also Sean Payton and Dan Campbell. He's been around really good coaches. So I think this is who he is. And time will tell if that means it's going to translate to him being a successful head coach. We will see on that. Comments, questions, super chats, cut the line. Reminder, This week on the show, we are giving away one of the best items a Jet fan can own, a signed football by Broadway Joe Namath. Get the membership to be entered in our weekly raffle, plus a signed Darrelle Revis football and a signed Wayne Corbett jersey. How about another prize? Another opportunity to get a signed Hall of Fame inscription Kevin Mawai jersey. So let's count the Hall of Famers here. We got one. We got one of the best Jets ever. We got two. We got three Jet Hall of Famers signed items we're giving away on the show this week. Support the channel. Support the AsManiacs. Gift the membership to be eligible. The first person to gift 5 memberships or more, we're doubling it. So if you gift 5, you're actually in for 10. Open phone lines for those who want to weigh in on this. Your thoughts on what Alan Hahn said. Do you agree or disagree with his criticisms of Aaron Glenn? And what are your thoughts on Glenn up there at the podium? Are you a fan of it, or do you believe it's a bit of an act, as Alan said there? He needs to, quote, drop the act. Alan writes in, Saleh was a fraud. It was noticeable when you got cocky early and the team bleeped the bed. For once, I might have to say I agree with Alan to an extent. Because Saleh couldn't wait to, like, puff his chest after they had, minimum success, and then it all fell apart. They didn't handle success well. It was a huge problem. JD writes in, Glenn is who he is. Refreshing to have him than Saleh nonsense. Yeah, I mean, look, I think Glenn's authentic. Rick writes in, Rex was cocky. Glenn is confident. Sure. I think you could say that. Yo, Holmes, Rex was always a clown. That's not true. You were definitely not saying that when they were in the AFC Championship game 2 years in a row and beat in back-to-back weeks Peyton Manning and Tom Brady in the playoffs. But okay. Black Gypsy, Glenn needs to be honest with us. I think he is. Will writes in, there have been plenty of coaches that were not good with press conferences. Most famous one to me is playoffs. Well, it's Jim Mora. I don't know if he was bad at press conferences. I think that was an iconic press conference. It's funny. Nick Sirianni is one of the best coaches in the NFL. His first press conference, he was being mocked by every Eagle fan. The presser doesn't ultimately matter. Can you win games? That's what matters. Now, sometimes you could destroy yourself in the presser, and it could be even worse as a coach. See Adam Gase. But it doesn't always mean, oh, you had a great first presser, you're going to be a great coach. Rick writes in, Saleh at the podium was a deer in the headlights. Glenn is in command at all times. Saleh was like afraid to give an opinion. That was my big thing. He would always like couch it, talk around it. I think Glenn will give you direct answers. Or if he doesn't want to give you a direct answer, he'll tell you he's not going to answer that question. But he won't try to give you some like answer to kind of answer your question, but not really say anything. Jets Nation. Jake, do you think the Jets have done irreparable damage to their fan base? Not if they win, but I think as far as the buy-in for this new regime, I think the damage of the last couple of years has significantly stalled some of the excitement for this season. Like normally you get a new coach, you're excited. Like we've seen this in Jet history, maybe outside of Gase. But even with Gase, it was like, well, we have Darnold. He looked good at the end of his rookie year. Can't wait to see what he could do. They added Le'Veon Bell for him. Like, here we go, right? This is the least excited I think the fan base has been for a year since I've been around. Like, that's the feeling I get. Maybe some of you are like, I'm excited. You're in the minority. You're also watching a Jet show in June. Check my views. I went back a year ago. I'm like, what was I doing view-wise? Don't even want to talk about it. Because there was so much excitement last year. Rodgers coming back. All the moves in the offseason. There was excitement in 2022. Forget Rodgers, right? Year 2 is Zach Wilson. They had this draft where they had the 4th pick, the 10th pick. They traded back into round 1 to take Jermaine. They took Brees early 2nd, traded up for him. It's just different right now. I thought a new regime would maybe give a little more pop by now, but I think a lot of the casuals are not back in just yet. Whereas the casual fan was watching this show and all the other great Jet YouTube shows out there every day, even in June. So I think they got to win if you want to talk about reversing the damage. And that's hard, right? Because Glenn's not going to get as much of a benefit of the doubt as another first-time coach would, especially if Rodgers plays well in Pittsburgh. They lose week 1 and Rodgers looks good. You know how that's going to go. Might not be fair, but that's life. Life's not fair. Rick writes in, Glenn is training the media, not the other way around. Tenacious, good points, Jake. KB, exactly right. Well, it's rare that the chat actually says I'm right on something. Rick loved Campbell on Hard Knocks. Me too. I loved Aaron Glenn on Hard Knocks. Where do you think we got this from?
You get the fuck out.
That's from Hard Knocks. New Q. Hahn would be the first to complain how soft young people are today. Meanwhile, he says this. I don't know about that. I just think it's not an act. Like, we've watched Aaron Glenn's pressers enough on this show to know this is who he is. He's authentically himself. Reminder, first person to get 5 or more memberships, we double it. Joe Namath signed football. Darrell Rivas signed football. Wayne Corbett signed jersey. And just added Kevin Mawai, Hall of Fame inscription signed jersey. Comments, questions, super chats, those will continue to cut the line. We're presented today by Huga House. Get a Huga House hat, 20% off. Code Asman at checkout. You want to pitch like one of the best pitchers in baseball? If you have a Huga House hat on, it might help you pitch better. I don't know. Max Fried rocking the Huga House. You can too. Ton of athletes, ton of celebrities rocking Huga House. HugaHouse.com. Promo code Asman. Check out their new performance line hats. If you work out, if you're going to be out in the sun, got a heat wave next week. Those are the best hats for the great outdoors. So check it out at HugaHouse.com and use promo code Asman at checkout. Open phone lines. Let's get to some of your calls. Adam is first up today. Hey, Adam.
Hey. Like, I mean, the feedback's fine from Alan Hahn, but you don't question a person's authenticity. I think that was out of bounds. And I think he probably will regret saying that. But, I mean, Aaron Glenn's been a public figure for quite a bit recently, right? So I think we know what we're getting with him. I think he knows who he is. I just don't think you challenge somebody's authenticity, right? Especially, in the offseason with the whole, Aaron Rodgers, Aaron Glenn, you don't know me. That was Aaron Glenn's response. You don't know me with that kind of attitude, right? So just don't question his authenticity. I get that you don't want to make an enemy of the media, being sharp on your responses back. But I also think that question was kind of a baiting question. It's sort of like, hey, Aaron, who's unhappy on your team that's not showing up? Or, who's playing hurt? Like, he's not going to tell you any of that, especially personnel stuff. He's been very clear. He keeps that stuff in-house. And he doesn't want that leaking out from anybody, himself, players, or the media. So I think setting boundaries is really good, but don't question dude's authenticity. Everything else was fair game, I think.
Well, the one thing I'll say, though, is I have no problem with the opinion on if you think he's not being authentic, like, your job as a talk show host, if you're talking about the Jets, is to say that, right? So I don't think Allen's out of bounds at all for saying that. I just personally disagree because I think that's who Aaron Glenn is. I think I've heard enough of Aaron Glenn in Detroit,
right,
and since he's been the Jet coach, that, like, this is just who he is. Like, he is very comfortable kind of having that give and take and not just being like Mr. Goody Two Shoes. And, like, I don't think it's an act. I think that's just who he was. I mentioned I spoke with him and it was the same thing. Like, that's the vibe I get just being around him and hearing him all the time since he's been made available to the media.
Yeah. So I'm not a media trained person myself, but I just thought, I think we know what we've got with Aaron Glenn. I think he's going to set as setting boundaries, figuring out what questions not to ask him because he's never going to answer them. It's just the way they're feeling each other out. This is an off season for the media and head coach Aaron Glenn to feel each other out so that they can have, meaningful press conferences. I think it's in everyone's interest to have good ones and not combative ones or not awkward ones. I mean, we were talking about Rex Ryan in the chat, right? Like, remember he had a wig on when he was playing his brother or coaching against his brother. Remember that? Like,
yeah,
it was goofy confidence. But did anyone question his authenticity? And
that's why players love Rex, because they knew, like, he cared about them, and it wasn't an act. That's who he was.
Yeah, so I feel like we should give Aaron Glenn the benefit of the doubt that he's being authentic, and it's not an act. Maybe just the combativeness. I'm sure he'll probably take that feedback too if he's listening, if he cares. Just don't create enemies from the media, but also, like, you don't have to answer a stupid question either. Just say, happy who was here today. The end, right? Not be like, well, what do you think? I mean, it's true. It's sort of like, gee, what do you think of the weather conditions today? Like, and they were there too. So like, you gotta be really careful about like dumb questions. And I think they could all learn from it too when it's all said and done.
Adam, good call to start us off. Appreciate it. They got to win games. That's the biggest thing. No one's going to care about press conferences if Glenn's winning games. JD says, AG believes in achievement. You're damn right. Jet Nation, Glenn has a lot to do, a lot of work to do to overcome the irreparable damage that has been to this fan base. He has to win. That's it. It's not rocket science. He has a lot of work to do. I mean, he's got to win games. I mean, go 9-8 this year, right? You win 8 games, you've done better than any Jet coach in the last decade. Think about that. 8 games. 8. Daniel Jones went 9-7-1 a few years ago. It's not that crazy. You need a couple breaks. Most games are relatively close in the NFL. The Jets led the NFL in blown fourth quarter leads. I think they had 7 of them. They won 5 games. Flip a couple of those one-score losses, and there's your 8 wins. It's a low bar. Winning is the great deodorant. That's what they need to do. Ladies and gentlemen, Anthony has gifted 5 channel memberships. We're doubling his memberships here. He's in our raffle later this week for 10.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Anthony, thank you very much. Let's find out who got your channel memberships here. Kylie Medina, Carl Clark, Sharon McLean, Joel, Frank Vesioni, all receiving channel memberships. Hit the like button if you're tuning in. Shout out to the over 300 of you in here right now. If you missed it, we played the full clip. The criticism that Aaron Glenn received from ESPN New York host Alan Hahn. Hahn saying Glenn needs to drop the act, needs media training, and his act will get tired fast. Agree or disagree? Please listen to the full thing before you opine on it. This comment, I don't know what it's in reference to, but the ghost says Mark Sanchez was garbage. He was not. Now, was he a franchise quarterback? No. But I challenge you to go back and watch those playoff games, and you tell me if Mark Sanchez was garbage. Because he played well in the playoffs. He was a much better playoff quarterback than he was regular season quarterback. Significantly better playoff quarterback than regular season quarterback. I think he had a 92-something quarterback rating in the postseason. If he played like he did in the playoffs, in the regular season, he might still be the Jets quarterback right now. Who knows? That's the truth. He was not garbage. He won 4 road playoff games in 2 years. London writes, and where does Keyshawn Johnson rank all time among Jet receivers? He didn't play with the Jets long enough to get into the upper echelon. I mean, that's just the reality. Now, his peak with the Jets, right? Like, he put up some really good seasons, obviously. And he's synonymous in the history of the franchise because he was the first pick in the draft. But Keyshawn didn't play long enough for the Jets. He made the Pro Bowl twice, played from the Jets from 96 to 99. I mean, he was only a Jet for 4 seasons. Now, they were really impactful seasons, especially 98, 99. But you can't put him in the upper echelon because of the fact he only played 4 years. Tenacious writes in, AG seems authentic. Will it lead to wins? We can only hope. I mean, let's hope. Will writes in, I wonder what Mr. Clifton is going to say today. Daily wisdom from Mr. Clifton. I'm ready for it. So am I.
Good morning, Jake.
Hello, Mr. Clifton.
Kind of revisionist history from the chat regarding Sanchez and Rex. Sanchez, as of a couple of years ago, I think he was the 4th highest playoff quarterback rating ever, based on like the minimum of like 4 games or something like that. He played pretty well in those games. In fact, to say that Rex is a clown when he got you to 2 AFC Championship games in a row, we had real chances of winning those games. If we weren't on the road, and maybe we weren't dealing with a first or second year quarterback, because Sanchez did make some minor mistakes, we probably would have had a shot of going to the Super Bowl for the first time in 40 years. So
if the Jets defense showed up in the first half of the 2010 AFC Championship game,
I was there. They couldn't stop the run.
Yeah, they're in the Super Bowl. I mean, and Sanchez played so well in that second half. I will go to my grave convinced if the defense got off the field on 3rd and 6 and they got the ball back to the Jet offense, they were going down the field and winning the game. Yeah.
Pittsburgh is very disorienting when you've never been there before and you're drunk and it's at night. I can tell you that much. The other thing is about Hahn. Like, I'd be interested to know how he felt about Salah, right? Like, I think the point is well taken that you don't want to have a too adversarial, relationship with the media, and by midseason it'll wear on him. But like, I think that he's taking the tack that he wants his team to follow his lead and keep the media at arm's length, and that is a refreshing change from the hemming and hawing and I'll circle back with you and all this other nonsense that's. I think that Salah's relationship with the media showed his lack of confidence, and sometimes in big games, I remember that close game at home against the Lions where you could kind of sense a lack of confidence in the in-game and the strategy and adjustments and stuff like that. The whole fact that we never came out well after the bye and never got up for the right division games and stuff like that. And just like Salah, it's a refreshing change for a guy to kind of assert himself as the alpha in the room with the media, and they're kind of dependent on him, and he's setting that tone from Jump Street, and I don't mind it. That's basically how I feel about it, but. I can't wait to see what he's like in midseason, whether he can moderate his tone at all, or else he's going to use, things that he doesn't like with the team to kind of get the guys fired up and use the media as kind of his sounding board, as a Parcellian acolyte might do. That's the take.
Kyle, it is a good take. Well done, sir. And Kyle Clifton inside today. The weather is not great in New York. Some summer we're having, huh? Although next week, apparently, there's a big heat wave coming. So be ready for that. International we go. Jason's in Jerusalem. He's next. What's up, Jason?
Hey, Jake. How's it there?
Hanging in, bro. How are you?
Likewise. I listened to the recording that you played. It's not Aaron Glenn's job to give Alan the ability to write an article. To complain that I asked a question, I demand an answer, and if you don't give it to me, then I can't write it because I'm asking you this question so I can have a quote for my article. So what? That's not Glenn's job. And then to turn that into a crying routine is just pathetic. To ask a question who wasn't there, hey, look yourself. I have no problem with that.
Yeah, I don't think it's an act. I just think that's
whether it's an act or not an act, it doesn't matter. It seems like a crybaby media member saying, I asked a question, I want an answer. I mean, Marshawn Lynch was greatest at press conferences, and he gave zero information. I'm only here not to get fined.
Fair. I mean, but the other side of that, though, to push back a little, is like, the reporter's just doing their job with that question. Like the reporter probably knows everyone's there, but you just want the answer on the record because like that's the job. Like you have to confirm it before you write it, you know?
Okay, but it could be nice for him to do that. He's under no obligation to do that. Obviously, he didn't go Ditko when Ditko went crazy and just said, next question when he was on the Saints. Whichever quarterback is healthy will start, whichever other one isn't, will be the backup. Next question. He wasn't that combative. But listen, you ask a dumb question, do it yourself. Look it up. You see who's there. You see the numbers. That's why they have numbers. Ask real questions. And even if you don't want to answer it, don't start saying that he needs media training. Why does he need media training? So that you could get the articles you want? You need media training so that you don't throw your players under the bus. Or you know how to. And you don't gaslight your fans into thinking that Hassan Reddick's a really great player for our team. It's just that we don't have a lead, so he can't succeed.
Look, they got to win games, Jason. That's it. That's the only media training he needs. Win games.
Yeah. Also, you dropped the ball a bit, Jake, because the sponsor you had yesterday, the shaving club, you had to do coupon code Gorman. I mean, that's really what you had to do. I'm kind of disappointed hearing it.
Look, Charles Gorman will be receiving some House of Atlas products. I will make it happen, all right?
All right. Give him a safety video as well.
Yes, absolutely. Good call, Jason. Appreciate you. If you're a channel member, I posted the official Charles Gorman Learns to Shave video. So check that out if you got some time today. Gator did a great job piecing it all together. Comments, questions, super chats. They cut the line if you want in on the conversation. Let's see. Scott, we constantly win in the preseason. I want to win in season. Agreed. You got to win games. Simple as that. We brought up Mark Sanchez before and his play in the postseason. Let's throw it back to the fall of 2011. The New York Jets were coming off their second straight AFC Championship game. They had just come off a brutal loss at some point in the 2011 season where Mark Sanchez did not play well. Mark Sanchez at the time was a third-year quarterback, and he was a weekly paid guest on the then Michael Kay show on 10:50 a.m. ESPN New York. And on that show, they would take questions from fans to ask Sanchez. So I called in and left a voicemail that was played to Mark Sanchez.
Mark, here is a question on the Metro PCS 4G gridiron line from one of our listeners.
Hey, this is Jake from South in New York. Mark, I got a question. Why is it that you seem to play unbelievable in the playoffs, but you haven't been able to find the same consistency in the regular season? Thanks again, Mark. Go Jets. Please get us there, baby.
What do you think,
that's a good question, and I better figure it out quick here so we can be more consistent and get some wins. But I don't know. I think you're so concerned about not wanting the season to be over that you got to play better in some of those big games. But there's no excuse for the way I've played these last couple of weeks, and I definitely have to improve.
Mark, have a happy Thanksgiving. Good luck on Sunday, and we'll talk to you next Tuesday.
Thanks, guys. Happy Thanksgiving.
You got it. That's Mark Sanchez.
Mark did not get us there. Instead, the Jets were 8-5 and then collapsed, finished 8-8, then missed the playoffs. But that was me I think I was a junior in high school then, or a sophomore in high school. I've been at this radio thing a long time. Black Gypsy writes in, how do we send memberships? It doesn't show on the menu. So if you're on your phone, unless you have an Android, you can't do it. If you're on your laptop or desktop, you can do it. Instead of hitting the super chat button, that money sign on the right, what you need to do is still hit that button and hit the gift membership option. If you want to just send the super chat to get in the raffle, that works, but we prefer memberships so more people can become channel members and get all the perks. The long story short, instead of hitting the super chat option, there should be a gift membership option instead. Joey Jett is next on the show today. Hello, Joey.
Hey, what's going on, Jake? It's been a while since I've been able to call in. So good to get in here. Two things real quick. Regarding your comments on Mark Sanchez and his performances in the playoffs, man, 100% spot on. Go back and look at those AFC Championship games. He was not the reason the Jets lost those games. So, unfortunately, it is what it is. Regarding this guy, this reporter, and his comment about his complaining about Aaron Glenn, man, that's such BS. Come on, man. I completely disagree with what that guy said. Glenn is a Parcells acolyte. He played under Parcells, coached under Parcells, then coached under two other Parcells guys, and Peyton and Campbell. So of course that's how he's going to be with the media. You think he's going to be any other way? No, that's how he's going to be. Now, granted, he does have to win so that the media gets off his back. But I completely side with Glenn on this one. And if that's how he wants to treat the media, that's fine with me. As long as he can get in there and be productive and get us the wins that we have been so long waiting for, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I don't think Glenn did anything wrong in these press conferences. Ultimately, it will have no impact. He'll be judged on wins or losses. The only thing I do agree with what Alan was saying is you can't be combative after every loss. Like, you're going to get tough questions if you play poorly and your team loses, and you can't take offense to tough questions, even if you're annoyed. You got to answer them or you're being asked them. That's the only thing.
Yeah, I'll agree with you on that. He can't just let the media get to him. He's probably going to be prickly after certain losses, but I'll agree with that. He's got to kind of learn to let it flow. But
he probably knows that, though. Like, I don't think he's going to do that. Like, if they lose a brutal week one game, I don't think he's going to go up there looking to pick a fight with Brian Costello over his line of questioning. Like, I think Glenn gets it. I think he understands this media market. He's played in this market before. He's been interviewed after brutal. Aaron Glenn's first couple of years with the Jets, they won what? Under 10 games, right? I mean, he had 1 year of Carroll, and then he had Kotite for 2. I mean, he knows what it's like to lose here. He understands. So I don't think this is anything that he can't handle.
No, yeah, I agree with that 100%. He knows what he's getting into. I have actually a lot of faith in Glenn. I think he's going to be a really good head coach. And I always liked him as a player. And I never thought that he would get the opportunity to coach the Jets. But I'm glad he's here. And I think he's going to do a good job. We'll see. Personally, I believe the Jets are going to go either 9-8 or 10-7 this year. There's too much talent on the roster. And I think the coaching is a huge improvement over last year. Because anyone who watched the games last year could tell coaching was the number one problem. The coaching was freaking atrocious. And I can't see it being any worse than it was last year. It's got to be better. And so you add that with talent, if Fields can just be slightly above average and they can run the ball well, I think they definitely have a legit shot at making the playoffs.
100%. We're just asking for a lot. Like, there's a path to it, as you outlined. It's just you're asking for a lot. We don't know what you're getting from the quarterback, and ultimately the coaching staff is all improving. So there's a lot of ifs.
That is true. I'm gonna err on the side of optimism, and I trust me, Jake. I feel you. I've been a fan of this team since 1979. Okay, I've been through heartbreak like I can't even imagine. But I gotta have some kind of optimism, man. Otherwise, what's the point?
I get it. 100%. And we need you on the Patreon, Joey Jet. I like the positivity. All right, we need you in there.
I'll look into that, man. My timing is kind of off, and we'll see how things are. Because in addition to working, I'm now going back to school. But I will definitely try to get in there.
Nice. What are you going back to school for?
To get my associates in science and filmmaking technology.
Nice. That's awesome, man.
Yeah. Thank you. That's going back there. I actually have a class in an hour. So I got to get it prepared after this. But yeah, I watch your show a lot. I pretty much tune in every day. You may not remember, me and my father and my brother met you outside of MetLife in 2022 when the Jets beat Miami. We took a picture and everything. So.
I do remember that, actually. Yeah, I do. Because I had a flight to catch to get back to Houston that night. I did the post-game show from the Newark airport.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you were walking by, and my brother yelled your name. He's like, Jake Asman. And you
Yes.
what? No, you're a cool guy and a great show. I watch it all the time. And I just you got to be. I get what you feel about holding back the enthusiasm, man, because we have been let down. Last year was just so terrible. I don't want to get into a curse fest here, but it was terrible, man. So I don't blame you for being, holding back and being wary. I don't blame you. You can't help it. We've been let down and screwed over so many times. But we'll see. I think they're going in a good spot. I think Glenn is going to end up being a really good head coach, and we'll see. The talent's there.
Talent is there. Now it's got to come together. And if Glenn's a really good coach, this will be a fun year, because the most fun years are when you expect very little of your team and they over deliver. So hopefully.
Every time, this franchise cannot handle expectations. They can't. The only time the Jets handled expectations was 2010.
Yep.
When they were coming off the AFC Championship, and it's like, oh, they actually performed as well as we thought they were going to perform. I cannot remember, maybe 82. But I cannot remember any other time that the Jets met expectations.
It's hard. It's hard being a Jet fan. But, hopefully this is one of those years where the first year coach boost that we've seen in Jet history applies with Glenn.
I truly do, because I thought that was going to happen with Gase. I know, optimist. I thought it was going to happen with Saleh. Hopefully it happens with Glenn. We'll see. But, if the coaching is there, there really shouldn't be any excuse. This should be a team that at least contends for a playoff spot.
Joey, great call, man. Appreciate you making it. Hopefully you call more. Good luck with school. And hopefully I'll see you at another game. Look, it's just hard, man. Last year and the year before, two of the hardest years ever to be a fan. Nothing is ever going to be worse than the 2024 season, though. Last year was just the worst. Any team I've ever rooted for, the worst season of my life. Like, it did real damage to me, psychologically. Black Gypsy says, enter me in the raffle, Jake. LOL, I have no faith. I have to see it to believe it. Last 2 seasons hurt my feelings. All right, for today's show only, $5 super chats will count for raffle tickets, because I don't want to tell Black Gypsy that technically this shouldn't count. So I'll give everyone the same opportunity for this show. You're in the raffle, Black Gypsy. And I agree with you. I get it. The last 2 seasons have been brutal. Last year especially has been by far the worst. But, if you want some positivity, when the Jets hired Bill Parcells, year 1, winning season. Al Groh, year 1, winning season. Herm Edwards, year 1, winning season. Mangini, year 1, winning season. Rex, year 1, winning season. Bowles, year 1. Last time they had a winning season. And then Gase ruined it. 7-9. Saleh took over a team that was horrendous. They obviously won 4 games. Ladies and gentlemen, the second person to gift today is Eli. Eli, your Garrett Wilson signed one-handed catch photo has been sent out. Congrats on winning that again. And you have a chance to win more prizes this week on the show. He's in for 5, baby. Here's who got Eli's channel memberships. The great Paul Taxter, Pat Rudy, Daniel Lopez, Jess, and Sergey Mikolov. Congrats to everyone who just got memberships. Click the like button if you're one of the 315 people in here right now. There's only 123 likes. This makes no sense. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. We've hit that plateau right now. If the Jets are good this year, we're easily reaching 50,000 subscribers. If they're relevant into November, we might be able to get there. Patriots 12 has gifted a membership, you sicko. He's in the raffle for 1. Ross. I don't know if you want to be a member from Patriots 12, but it has happened. Big Fella says, what is the raffle today? Oh, you want a daily raffle, big fella. Should I do it? Should I do a daily raffle prize? I could be convinced. I got to think what I have handy to give away. Right now, all these memberships are going towards, of course, the weekly raffle. Name It Sign Football, Darrell Rivas Sign Football, Corbett Sign Football, and I added another Kevin Mawai jersey. But I'll tell you what. I could remove this Kevin Mawai jersey and instead do it for a daily raffle if the people want it. You guys got to let me know. Now, I have a feeling the people that are watching the show live are going to say, yeah, we want a daily raffle because you're here right now. So I'll consider it. I'll think about it. Ladies and gentlemen, more of your calls right now. This guy always has a lot to say. It is time to say hello to a man who knows a thing or two about thrusting a jersey at a tailgate.
I think that guy I know, right?
Hello, Neil.
Jake. Anyway, you know, I'm so tired of this Bart Hahn, all these media guys. I don't, you know, screw them. Why does anybody have to bend the knee to the media when they do a press conference? Okay, like Fireman Ed said, let's stick them all in a out in the doghouse. No, you know, what did he say to do? He wants to put them all in the
outhouse.
In the outhouse. Let's send Bart Hahn and all these guys. Sorry to say, get the hell out of here. I don't give a shit what you say. Bottom line comes down to this. I'm making a birthday wish today. The birthday wish is that we finally make. I don't usually make jet wishes on my birthday. I usually make.
Isn't it bad luck if you say it aloud?
Yeah, I'm going to make a birthday wish. I'll keep it to myself. But it's the Jets. It's jet related. I never make jet related birthday wishes. This time I am. I'm not going to say.
Is today your birthday?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize it was today. Happy birthday, Neil.
Thank you. 64 years young.
Bobby better call in and sing for you.
64 years young today. Biggest pain of any Jet fan probably that watches this YouTube channel. If not, top 2 or 3.
And Neil was at the AFL championship game at Shea Stadium.
Right. And I was with you that fateful.
Yeah, you were with me for the worst sports moment of my life.
Christ. You know, that was one of the worst moments of my life. I will say this to you. The beginning of the third quarter in my basement with 30 people watching the Denver game when we were up 10-0 and making plans for the Super Bowl, and we ended up losing that game. I'll tell you, that was a killer, man. That was a killer. And
Glenn referenced that at his press conference, the 98 championship game.
Yeah, and then the next year with Testaverde going down, that was just as bad as the Rodgers thing, because we came off the championship game. We were favored again to get to the Super Bowl. We made a couple tweaks. We had everything in place, and Testaverde went down. Dude, we were at the Spirals. You know, remember the Spiral at the Giant Stadium, right?
Yep.
My buddy, we were like crying. It was so disappointed. The Rodgers thing was just like a shock, you know?
It happened so quick. Like you couldn't even.
Right.
The craziest part about that night is how insane it was before the injury. Like they started the drive, the first touch of the season from Brees off the ACL. He goes 20 yards. It was I was convinced we were winning the Super Bowl in that moment. It was insane. And then
they break another one right after that. It was like 60.
It was later in the game. Rodgers already hurt at that point. And if Brees was in better condition, he would have scored. But it was week 1. He didn't have a full training camp because they were careful with him. It was crazy. And then go back. The underrated part of that game, too, if you go back and listen to the crowd, the first drive of the game, the Bills started with the ball. And they go 3 and out or whatever. And there's a pass breakup. Allen's trying to find Stephon Diggs. DJ Reed was there in coverage. It's incomplete. The roar of the crowd when the ball hit the turf and the Bills had the punt, that was one of the loudest moments of the night, too. Like that first drive, the crowd for the defense was just insane.
That was amazing. Well, here's what it comes down to. The first 2 games of the season are really going to dictate the whole year. I will tell you right now. It's bottom line is no more of an importance of the first 2 games of the season than the first 2 games we have with Pittsburgh and Buffalo. That's it. I mean, you go 0-2, you got a 10% chance to make the playoffs. You go 0-3, you got a 2.5% chance to make the playoffs.
You can't bury yourself early. You got to win some games.
Got to win game 1. Game 1 against Pittsburgh, I would say, is a more winnable game than the Buffalo game. Would you say, Jake, or what? I would probably say that's the more. Well, not really, because look, both of these games are winnable because we play Buffalo well at home. They have, it's a new regime coming in. Offensive coordinators are not going to be ready for our defense with the blitzing. Our offense is going to be totally unpredictable because it's the first time. You know what I'm saying? We should come out easily, win one of the first 2 games.
I think that's the key. I think you got to start.
Got to win.
I think week 1's easier though.
What's that?
I think of the 2 games, week 1 is the easier game. They could win, but it's not impossible that they could win both, right? Like you're playing the Bills early in the year. Teams aren't what they are that early. They have played them well at home. They have different coaching staff, but still. But I think the Steelers is the more winnable game because it's week 1. Crazy things happen in week 1, and Rodgers has a history of sometimes getting off to slow starts. And this is a brand new coordinator for him, brand new players. He wasn't at any of the OTAs. He was just there for 3 mini camp days. Like, if you're going to win one of the first 2, if I had to bet which one, I think it's more likely, even though I'm afraid of week 1, I think it's more likely they win week 1 than week 2.
Yeah, because again, 2009 we started 2-0.
3-0.
2010 we started 2-0.
No. 09 3-0. 2010 they lost to the Ravens in the first primetime game at MetLife. Remember that?
Yeah,
awful. The offense was terrible. Then they played New England week 2
and
that
9
year.
They lost. I was at that game.
It was awful. Dustin Keller died on the field. Remember the hit Ray Lewis put on Dustin Keller?
Right. I started that game. It was like a lightning delay in that game or some shit. I was there, and man, we almost got, my son almost got in like 3 fights in that game. We were like all over the place. It was a horrible game. And then 15, we were 2-0 to start. You got to get off to a good start. That's it. It's, there better be the urgency from Glenn and this coaching staff to get these guys psyched up and just get them believing they can win this game in the opener. And if they do, and we go 2-0, you'll see me in Tampa after 2-0. But before that, I'm not going to be even making any commitments at all.
You're coming to Tampa.
Dude, I was one of the best games I ever watched.
Right. We need you down there. Look at this deal I have for you. I got your group tickets. I got your hotel situated. Come on. I got you set up with a tailgate. I got you set up with a party the night before. Come on.
And listen, Tampa's a great place to watch a game. I was at that game where
Curtis Martin threw the touchdown to Corbett. I know. Yeah.
Oh, that was the best comeback. I was there with Fireman Ed, all the guys. We came down the like 10,000 Jet fans at once after we were getting the shit kicked out of us. Came down the ramp all together with Jet chants right in the face of all the Tampa Bay people. And then we went to the bar after at the hotel. It was an incredible, incredible day. So, and I want to go game 4 to Miami. That's the one I'm targeting. I like the Miami games, but Tampa's a good place to watch the game. It's a good start, but let's get that first. We got to get the first 2 wins.
Are you going to week 1?
No.
Wow.
I am not going to be.
Wow.
I will not subject myself to it because I don't want. There's it's going to have a shit taste. I just don't want to be there. I want to watch it on my big screen. Whoever wants to come, boom, I'm going to watch it and evaluate.
Peter says he'll go to week 1 with you.
Yeah, well, we'll see.
Fire up the sprint. I need a photo of Peter Castro and you in the Neil Sprinter on your way to MetLife for week 1.
Peter's going to go with the boat. He's got this beautiful new boat. We'll fly right in, right into.
He's going to be rocking his Justin
right
Fields
through
jersey.
the swamp. We'll fly in. Peter will be at the helm. That'll be fun. But we'll see. And listen, we'll see what happens. I'm excited. Always, as we get closer, the more anticipation. But I'm going to tell you, man, week 1, I'm going to be a bag of nerves. I don't want to be at the stadium. I don't want to be there. And I'm not humping any Rodgers jersey. I'm not doing that. I'm pissed off that we're playing Rodgers week 1. I don't want to watch that game.
Where were you yesterday, Neil, when I gave away a Vinny Testaverde jersey on the show? I played the famous clip of you talking about your experience taking a shower next to Vinny.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I don't know. I've been a little out of sorts, a little crazy. But let's go. Everybody, let's get psyched up. The season's close, and that's it. I'm out.
Ladies and gentlemen.
No more points.
Neil.
I went to the Jet Golf Classic Monday. We all go to the locker room, and everybody's showering. There's a line of guys. And who gets behind me on the line but Vinny Testaverde?
Oh, God.
And I said, boy, Vinny, we could have used you last year. You know, Vinny, winning it in New York, is there anything like it? He goes, absolutely not. I go, are you looking for big things this year? He goes, yes. I go, how do you think Aaron's going to react coming off the Achilles? He did say that he's going to have some rust. He goes, look, it's going to be a little difficult in the beginning. They should rely heavily on the run the first couple of games.
Amazing. We gave away a Vinny T jersey yesterday. Congrats to JYB who won that. Also, Vinny Testaverde will be a guest on this show when I'm live from Marty Lyons charity golf tournament on July 14th. We got Marty. We got Joe Klecko. We got Vinny confirmed so far. Hopefully some more. I think it's going to be a great day. I'll be fresh off a bachelor party in New Hampshire, by the way. So that's going to be some couple days for me. But looking forward to being there and supporting Marty's foundation. How about a 5-spot of channel memberships? Paul Taxter just gifted them. Let's go, Paul. Sam Aiken, DJ Jet, Sean Sharp, John, and KG131 all in the Asmaniac raffle, all channel members. And Paul, you're in the raffle for 5 raffle tickets. Devin checks in with a super chat here of $10. That gets him in the raffle for 2. The past pain is real. We're going to enjoy the season. 12-5 floor. I love my head coach and believe in Justin Fields. Thanks for the grind, Jake. You'll be back on board fully after week 1. JETS. They win week 1. Yeah, I'll be giddy. I'll be ecstatic. 100%. I'll be pumped. I got to see more than just one win, but I mean, better than losing week 1. With 12-5 is the floor. They've won 12 games once in their history. But hey, you want to be positive on June 17th? I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to tell you you're wrong for that. Comments, questions, super chats. They cut the line. Ralphie says, when the Jets blocked the punt at the goal line versus Denver, I got on the phone with my travel agent. I mean, it felt like the Jets were going to win the AFC Championship game. It did. Hennessy says that I go to a wedding every month. That's not true. This is a bachelor party. This is not even a wedding. I only have 2 weddings in 2025 that I'm attending. One of them is Matt O'Leary's wedding. The other one's in August. That's it. Jay Quest says, are you going to meet up with Bobby on your way to New Hampshire? Maybe. Also, happy birthday again to Neil. I'm going to end the show, if I remember, with some great Neil moments in honor of his birthday. Big fella says, Jake, if you ever get an Outtoon jersey, let it be known. I'm bidding heavy on it. It's mine. Big fella, it's funny. I've tried, man. There's not a whole lot of signed Outtoon stuff out there. There's like helmets available, but the jerseys are tough. I'll keep looking, though. You never know. Comments, questions, super chats. They cut the line. Let's get to more of your calls right now. Speaking of weddings, this guy is recently married. JJ is next. Hello, JJ.
Hello, my friends. How are you?
When did you get married?
When?
Yeah.
The exact date?
Yeah.
April 26th, I think.
Wow. And you just like never talked about it. You never shared any info on it.
Well, no, I did. I've shared a lot of info on the Bobby Midnight Show. It's
Yeah.
just every time. See, what it is I work like at a different store than I used to, and it's super busy, so I never have time to like catch the show while it's live. I always catch it on the end or whatever, and then you don't take my call. So
You look like you're working hard right now.
no, today I'm off. I'm enjoying a nice game of FIFA. But yeah, I talked about it a lot on the Bobby Midnight Show. She's been on Bobby Midnight Show about 3 times now. So
Well, that's where I saw one of the clips of that. Yeah.
yeah. And Bobby said that she looks, I forgot what he said. He said something funny. Anyways, I just wanted to say that I kind of disagree with you. I see where you're coming from when you say winning is like the ultimate deodorant, but at the same time, right? You in the off season, what these coaches say kind of give you an idea of what kind of coaches they're going to be. Like I knew that Robert Saleh wasn't going to be a good coach because he would just say the most idiotic things to me, and he would just like always try to say the perfect thing, but it would come off like idiotic. And I know back then everybody was like, "Oh, don't read into it. It doesn't matter. It's just a press conference." But it gives you a lot of insight on these guys' mindset. And if a coach is not a good communicator to the media, then how could we believe he's a good communicator to his team? And even when you look at like a Bill Belichick, I mean, even when Bill Belichick wasn't saying a lot, he was still very direct in his responses. And it wasn't like he was like blowing smoke up anybody's ass. He just didn't really give you much to work with. But I think that's a lot different from like Robert Saleh just saying the most idiotic, contradictory thing week after week. And I don't know. I feel like they're not a big deal, but they do give us a lot of insight on these guys.
It matters to a certain extent, but I was talking about the introductory press conference specifically, right? Because people were ripping Nick Sirianni's first press conference, and he's an awesome coach, whereas Adam Gase had a brutal first press conference with the Jets, and he was a brutal coach. So like it doesn't always matter. Like there's not an exact correlation is the point.
It's so funny about Nick Sirianni though, because I mean, people wanted him fired and people thought he was a bad head coach, and then he wins the Super Bowl, and now it's like all forgotten that a lot of especially people in this chat were saying that we were stupid for if Nick Sirianni got fired, considering him to be the next head coach of the Jets. Obviously,
not me. I've always thought he was a good coach.
Well, yeah, but there's a lot more people who thought he was a bad coach, especially Philadelphia Eagles fans, especially some of the guys that you have. I forgot there's an Eagles fan who calls in who's not that high on Nick Sirianni. Not calls in, but he like you have him on the show. You know who I'm talking about? What's that guy's name?
Faria is a huge Sirianni fan.
Oh, okay. So maybe my mind is mistaken, I should say. But anyways, the point is though, like a lot of times, man, we just looking for something to complain about, especially in the media. They need something to complain about. I think they overreact a lot. And when they get too much, they're happy. When they get too little, they're mad. But at the end of the day, who cares? Like it's football. They got to win football games. But I will say this year we are going to the playoffs. I'm so hyped for Justin Fields, man. Justin Fields is going to go crazy this year. Remember, I told you guys, I think that our floor is we're going to win at least 10 games. We're at least going to win 10 games because we're going to run the football. And when you run the football, I mean, that translates any weather, any stadium. Like we're going to run the football. I don't think you guys are ready for what's going to happen this year. I'm super pumped. The one thing I don't like is that it kind of seems like they're probably not going to have too many open practices for the season ticket holders, which I always look forward to that in the summer. But it looks like they want to go under the radar, so they might not invite too many fans there for that. But other than that, man, they've done no wrong in my eyes so far. I like their approach.
Well, according to you, Justin Fields is going to the Ring of Honor, so we're set.
He is going to the Ring of Honor. And if anybody who disagrees, I mean, like, why are you watching the team then? If you don't think that he's going to be a good quarterback for us, no, you know why? Because it's like the guy played for Ohio State, had a heck of a career at Ohio State. He's getting matched back up with his best wide receiver in Ohio State, Garrett Wilson. He's a young, fresh quarterback. He has legs on him. He rushed for 1,000 yards at one point in his career. He's never had the talent that he's had now. He's never had what we think is of a coaching staff as he's had now. And you guys think that he's just going to come and suck for us? I don't get it. Like, I don't see what I'm missing about Justin Fields.
Why do you need to say he's in the Ring of Honor? Why can't you say, I think he's going to be pretty good for us? Why do you need to take it to a level that is incredibly unrealistic?
Why is it unrealistic for him to be a Ring of Honor quarterback?
Because the Jets have never had any quarterback in the Ring of Honor besides Broadway Joe Namath. So to say a guy who's on his third team in 3 years is now going to enter the Ring of Honor and be the second best quarterback in franchise history is asinine.
I don't think it's asinine. Isn't that the point? Don't you want the next quarterback to be the next best quarterback that we've ever had? Like, if we drafted somebody right now, wouldn't you?
You're the only one who believes this.
Yeah, but I was the only one at a point in time who believed Robert Saleh and Joe Douglas need to be fired. That didn't stop me then. History shows that I was right then.
I hope you're right. If you're right, we'll call it the JJ show for however long you want to host it. All right.
I don't even want it to be called the JJ show because listen, if I'm right, I would probably never have to call into the show again because I'm going to be on such a cloud nine of joy that I'm not going to talk to anybody. I'm just going to be at home like this.
What about your wife?
Well, I'll talk to her. I mean, do you want to meet her? Jake, have you officially met her yet?
No, I don't know if I have met her, actually.
Oh, hey, come. Lauren. Hold on. Let's see if she comes because she gets really shy. She doesn't like when I call in on to the Bobby show and make her get on screen. Hold on. Let's see if she comes. Oh, she's giving me a middle finger. Hold on.
Oh, come on, Lauren.
Come.
Stop.
Come meet Jake. Say hi.
Hello, Lauren.
How are you?
I'm doing well. How is married life going for you? Congratulations.
Thank you. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good. It's not amazing, not great, not the best.
I love it here.
Are you a Jets fan as well, Lauren?
Yes, by marriage.
And she's now a Mets fan too.
I am now a Mets fan.
Wow, you converted? Were you a Yankees fan prior?
No,
Lauren?
she just didn't watch baseball.
Okay.
And now we go to like Mets games all the time. So now she's a Francisco Lindor fan to be exact. So
all right. So she's a Lindor fan. So now what are your thoughts? Well, how long were you guys dating before you got married? Has she seen you in prime like Jet form?
No, she never seen me yell at a Jets game. I never brought her to a Jets game yet. But you're excited to come this year, right?
I'm very excited to come this year.
Wow, you've never been to a Jets game with them?
No.
Oh, get ready. It's quite the experience. JJ's out of control. I've been with him at some Jets games before. I've been with him at some tailgates, and it gets wild.
Yeah, I'm ready for it.
You don't sound ready.
I'm not ready for it.
She's an amazing cook, so that's awesome too. So now she's gonna take over my my barbecue. She thinks.
Really?
Yeah, we're gonna fight for the grill.
Who's gonna get the candy cane at the game?
You heard? She walked away. She doesn't know what you're talking about.
Oh, but the audience does.
Although she was there for the making of a couple of those diss tracks. She was in the background when I was making those diss tracks.
Did she think you were nuts?
She said always.
I love it. Well, I'll tell you what. I'm looking forward to positive JJ. I hope you're right. Okay. I like seeing this side of you.
Hey man, I can't wait. Let's go Justin Fields. And that's all I gotta say. And I miss Alan. Can we get Alan to start calling back in again?
Let's not be crazy.
All right. Bye guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, JJ.
There's gonna be a day where Jake is gonna come on here talking about Robert Saleh and he's gonna say the same thing. He stinks. Stop defending him.
You're the best. Ladies and gentlemen, negative caller JJ in person here on the show.
You guys think that I'm just a negative caller, but I support this team. I'm at every home game, every away game, and even at training camps. Don't believe me? Ask DJ Reed.
But right now, we out here. Hold up, you know what time it is.
Even Ryan Fitzpatrick thinks I should win. He gave me a candy cane. No matter what our record is, no matter what the weather's like, JJ's still at the games, rooting on his team.
He's back! Remember when JJ retired and then Asmaniac Madness brought him out of retirement? What a moment in time. It's just funny. JJ was the most negative fan, and now he's all positive. Justin Fields, Ring of Honor. Tom Ace, I live by the words, watch what you say, watch what you eat. Man, JJ versus Gator, that was some saga, huh? We've had a lot of beefs on the show. Our most recent one is Gary versus every woman to ever exist. If you caught yesterday's 2 shows, my God. More of your calls right now. Hit the like button if you haven't. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Let me hit on a couple super chats and then, as promised, right to your calls. JR checks in. JR, I sent you your ticket for our Yankees meetup next week, so check your email. I sent you, I think you might have requested 2, I forget, but whatever you requested, I sent yesterday. Sometimes the media, they're not just doing their job. They stir up drama and embarrass the player or head coach. Nothing wrong with standing up to them. Lose, he'll be tougher on himself than they will. Hashtag Jet Up. I agree. I completely agree with that. I've said it. I even said it during the monologue. I don't mind Glenn pushing back on dumb questions. Big Islander fan says, Ken O'Brien hung Altoon out to dry so many times with high passes that caused so many concussions and shortened his career by 10 years. I mean, a little unfair just to blame Ken O'Brien for that. Unfortunately, Altoon dealt with concussions. I'm going to be the first player to have that happen. Douglas says, Jake, your views are down because your negativity in Beastbreaker. My views are still number 1. All right. I still have a massive subscriber base that I'm grateful for. I'm just saying a lot of the casual Jet fans are not tuned into this show or other shows because there's less excitement around the team right now. And that could change if they start winning games. Winning cures all. Because people say to me, oh, well, the Jets suck, but at least they're always in the news and there's controversy. I'm like, yeah, that only goes so far, though. Like, winning games is what brings in the masses. I've seen this. I've seen this on other people's channels. And also, your comment here about Beastbreaker. Are you kidding? Love him or hate him. I know you're sitting on your ass, Douglas Bailey, and you're watching every second of Beastbreaker.
You get the out.
Buenos dias, Jake. ¿Cómo estás, amigo?
Hey, Beast.
Hey, have you ever tried Giovanni's Italian Deli?
I have not.
Delicious place. Very, very delicious. Also, there's a place in New York that you should try out. You ever try Crispy Pizza?
I have not.
Check them out. They actually look really, really good. I was looking at that place and going, very interesting. They make fresh pies, and they also make those big Sicilian pies.
Hell yeah.
Oh, now I'm not big on Sicilian pies, but I'm like, gotta watch those pies, man. They kick your ass pretty good. But did you ever try a chicken wrap?
All the time, Beast.
Would you silence? Or should I do one of these?
Take that, Douglas Bailey. All right, more of your calls right now on the show. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time.
Ricky, New York is my name. Florida State is my game. My internet sucks calling Jake when it's time to smoke and debate. The New York Jets are gonna win. My team since I was a kid. My New York Jets are gonna win. I'm Ricky, New York. Don't forget that. Florida State bitches. New York Jets. We got this shit. It's time to win, baby. Win. Can't wait.
Hey, how's it going, Jake?
What's up, Ricky?
Oh, not a whole lot. You know what? As far as what this reporter has to say about Glenn, you know what? If you don't like a harsh answer, then don't ask a stupid question. But the thing is, especially with a lot of the beat guys and stuff, sometimes, a question isn't just a question. How you answer that question may provide them with their next story. And a lot of times that's what they're trying to do, is create a story. And so I don't mind it at all. When you listen to the players talking, Fields saying that he's the most real coach he's ever had, Tony Adams saying how straightforward he is, like he's going to tell you like it is. And I don't think it's an act. I think it's just his personality, and every answer isn't abrasive like that. It's usually just the ones where I think, the question is trying to insinuate something, and he'll kind of smack it back. And I want to push back a little bit on Aaron Glenn just being like strictly a Parcells clone. Like, dude, when Parcells first got here and they said, hey, are you excited to coach Terry Glenn? And Parcells was like, who's she? Like, that crap wouldn't fly these days. And I don't think Aaron Glenn would say something like that these days. But it's been interesting to hear how many of the players have had one-on-one conversations with him. And Sauce said, we've had some good conversations and some tough ones. And every player is saying, like, he's challenged me to do this. He challenged Sherwood to be a better leader, Sauce to be more consistent. And I think that he's going to put, like he said, you got to know which buttons to push. And so I don't think it's just all abrasive, hard-nosed coaching like Parcells, but I think he's got a good balance. Like, they like him, they can relate to him, and they respect him because he was such a good player in the league himself, you know? So they look at him different. I've been very encouraged by like what I'm hearing just about the way they're teaching, not just like the GoPro with Fields, but even like listening to Carter and the DBs talk, like how all the DBs are in one meeting room now, as opposed to like corner split from safeties. Like all the guys are hearing the same thing. They're all getting the same message. And Carter saying like how that creates more trust, because not only do you know your assignment, but you know if the safety is doing his job, you know where he's going to be. So I just like everything that I'm hearing so far. And, you know, and the other thing I didn't like about what that reporter said, it was like, you know, he needs to get right with the media, you know, otherwise, you know, you start losing some games. You're not going to like the questions. Well, dude, nobody likes questions when you're losing games, but that almost sounded like a threat. Like, you know, you better treat us media people right. Otherwise, if things don't go well, you're in for it. And that's just such BS. Like, you know, like I said, a lot of times a question isn't just a question. You know, it's kind of like that shady mechanic that when he's fixing your car, loosens something else up, creates his next job. Like sometimes those questions are just setting you up to say something that's going to give them a story later on. And so I don't mind. I think he's got the right blend of being personable and you know, calling out BS when he sees it. So I think we're in good. Yeah, I think we're in good hands and we're heading in the right direction, and just can't wait for the year to get here.
Ricky, I know you're excited. You believe in Aaron Glenn and the New York Jets.
I really do, man. Like, I mean, some of my very best memories of it as a Jets fan is when he was a player on the team. And trust me, you know what? When he was the guy, the player talking to the media, he talked like that back then too. He's like always been the same guy. Like, you know, which is, to me, that's good. Like, you know, if he was real soft-spoken as a player and then came out with press conferences like this as a coach, I would worry because I would know he's not being authentic. But he's always been that same guy. So, like, I'm perfectly okay with his answers. And, yeah, you know, everything I've heard, the hard-nosed practices, focus on tackling, like just everything that I've heard, it sounds like he's handling things the right way. And you know what? I'm glad that it's different than what the previous regimes have done, because that didn't work. So, you know, hopefully this will work. I've got faith. I got faith. I'm looking forward to it.
Ricky, New York, baby. Let's go.
You get the fuck out.
You know, Nate actually just said something that I've been thinking about here. He says, Jake, you got to start doing a raffle for callers to get people in. All right, let's workshop this idea aloud. Now, normally in season and when there's a lot of news, right? Free agency, the draft, OTAs, mini camp. It's really not that hard to get Jet fans to want to call in on an interactive Jet show. But now it's June 17th. It's hard. There's not a ton of news happening, right? It's slow. So, effective immediately, if you call in during the show, and you call in and actually have like a legitimate call, not just, I'm just calling in so I can get my face on the air so it counts. If you call in during the show, you'll get one raffle ticket. Could be in the daily raffle or the weekly raffle, if we're doing a daily raffle that particular show. And we'll have this be through at least until the start of training camp on July 22nd. I like that idea. It will incentivize people to call in. It's free to call in. It gives an opportunity for more voices to be a part of the show. Maybe people get more comfortable on the air if they don't want to call into such a big show. Because I watch the Bobby Midnight show, and there's people in my chat every day that are calling into that one, but they never call into this one. I'm talking about you, Three Siblings Jay. Talking about you, Jaden D'Angelo. There's a lot of people like that. So I like the idea. Talking about you, Dixon Yass. Talking about you, Matt Smith. So call in, and if it's a legit call, and it could be a call about our show too, like if you disagree with something asinine that Gary said and you want to call in, we'll count it. Ladies and gentlemen, I think this new idea is already paying off. Three Siblings Jay is up next. What's up, Jay?
Yo, what's good, man? How you doing?
Dude, where are you calling us from?
I'm calling you from we're in the lab right now, me and the kids. Say hi, everybody.
Let's go.
We're getting some work in. I'm just calling in, man, because I felt like that was a personal shot to me, personally. So I'm just calling in really quick. Hey, Jake, listen. Justin Fields, he's about to blow out this year, okay? I don't care what you're talking about. Old man Rodgers, all that. We're going to win. And I got to go. I just called in. I don't need no lottery ticket. Love the Jets, and you have a good day.
I love it. Great call, Jay. Love it.
You get the fuck out.
You might not want a lottery ticket, but you're getting a raffle ticket anyway. Good job, Jay. That's what we need. Hell yeah. JR, I read your super chat already. If you're referencing that, I saw you had a comment. What about super chat? Super chat still count towards the raffle. I got you down for 2. Bo is in our raffle for 2. Congrats to Bo. He's won a ton of prizes lately. Well deserved. The positive aspects of this team is the fact that we only held the components that worked from last year. The new faces are very close to plug and play, and Fields has never been the supported Jets. I do agree as far as Fields being in the best chance to break out. Within reason, right? Like I think they're a receiver short, but I think they have a solid offensive line. I think he's got a really good running back room. I think Garrett Wilson is arguably the best receiver he's ever had, and he already has built up chemistry with him from college, and that was evident during the offseason practices. So I agree with that. If Glenn's the real deal and he hired a real OC in Engstrand, then his team could be decent. Could. Rebecca says, Asman is calling out his fans. I'm not calling anyone out, Rebecca. I'm encouraging these people. I'm like Aaron Glenn. I'm challenging people to call in and be a part of this. Right? Sauce said he liked to be challenged. We know Sauce is great. There's another level to his game. There's another level to the callers of this show. And we just saw that with Jay. Great job, Jay. Way to set the tone. Jay writes in, Gary said something asinine? No way. If you missed yesterday's show, Gary probably set back society years. Joshua writes in, Charles needs the call from the toilet at Burger King. Perhaps he does. Perhaps he does. More of your calls right now, ladies and gentlemen. Ralphie is on the line. What's up, Ralphie?
How are you, Jake?
Ralphie, you are a tremendous caller. So I hope that the incentivization of getting people to call in works on someone like you, because we need more Ralphie Rocks calls.
I'm a boring caller, but I'm pretty good in the chat. Pretty funny in the chat.
I love it.
I'm more of like a joke writer. You made my wall of fame up there. Got a Jake Asman cup. Get closer, maybe. That way. Maybe Jake Asman cup up there.
Hey, that's awesome.
All right. Right next to the Vinny Testaverde signed ball. So.
Vinny T. Love it.
Yeah. 2 things. I told you when I met you, I'm probably never going to call in. But the more I watch it, the more I get so pissed off. This Frankie V is the Gary 3D boxing of all your analysts. He should be in the hole. I mean, not only does he say Sauce is a problem because he feels he's like, I don't know, an attitude problem, but then he backs it up by saying cornerback is not a premium position in the NFL, which if you just look at the top cornerbacks, they all go like top 10 with Surtain, and Stingley Jr. and Sauce, So that's a ridiculous take, I think. So that got me to call in. And then the other thing is I think Aaron Glenn, has a good chance. I look at like the Mets, for example, and the best coaches we've had in my lifetime, Davey Johnson and the guy now were, first timers, good heads on their shoulders with good staffs. And then I've seen where we brought in tremendous people with big names, Jets and Mets, and it's been terrible. I look at the Yankees, who I can't stand, and they've had 3 good managers in a row. I thought getting rid of Buck Showalter for Joe Torre was ridiculous, and look how that turned out. So you never know. You just really need to be like a perfect storm of good talent. Don't screw it up. Some good trades. So anything can happen. Hopefully you're not smelling 4 wins still.
I'm at around 6, so I've gone up a little bit.
Good. Very good. All right. Well, enjoy. Love the show.
Ralphie, great call, man. Raffle ticket for Ralphie for calling in. Love that. It's funny. Nate's comment, I had been thinking about that because I was like, how are we going to get through the next 35 days till training camp? And I was doing the math. If I do 2 shows a day, Monday through Friday, give or take at least 1 show on a Saturday or Sunday, I'm like, that's like 60-something shows I got to get through where there's not a ton of news. Now, it's good when Alan Hahn says what he says. It gives us a topic, but you can't always rely on that. So I like this. We'll incentivize people to call in. So you have a legit call, you earn a raffle ticket per call. City Bert with a super chat. What does success look like for AG? I mean, to me, 8 wins. Win games. 8 wins. You have done something that no Jet coach has done in a decade. Now, could they go 7-10 and we're optimistic, I guess, going into next year? I guess it depends how Fields looks. Right? To me, it's not always about the record. It's how you get to the record, but winning does matter. I got to see wins. How are you against division opponents? How are you with time to prepare for teams? Off the bye, how do you look? How are you week 1? Jets got boat raced week 1 last year. Now you have all this time to prepare for Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers. Let's go. You're at home. Beat them. Prove us wrong. Bo C, the great Bo C. How about a 10 spot of channel memberships from our guy, Bo?
Now, give me money. Or I shoot him. And I shoot all you motherfuckers. And then we take it. Your choice, bitches.
Dana Andrews, Ryan Rivera, Tandem, Michael Caslin, BNL, ML Jr., Christopher Phillips, Chitty Took, JETS Pauly, all receiving channel memberships from Bo. Bo, thank you as always. Black Gypsy, look, he figured out how to do it. He just gifted a channel membership. He's in the raffle for another entry.
It's JETS, Jets. I love Fireman Ed too.
Oh, baby, we got a big one from John, who's won some prizes in our raffle. He's sending in a $50 super chat.
Get your ass off my super chats. Some of these are gifted memberships too.
Hey.
The hell with it.
John, thank you. We will get you down in the raffle for 10 entries here. He says, I'm ready for training camp and the pads to be put on. Week 1 can't come soon enough. Glenn said nothing wrong, and Alan was just getting too butter because he's a media guy. Fair take. Not that Alan's butter, but that Glenn said nothing wrong. Look, I'm always excited for training camp. Now, I think JJ was the one who said this when he called in. He made a good point. Probably less open practices for fans this year. I think the NFL might require you have to have some. I have to look into that. I think the Jets would want to do it. It's a good vibe. I don't think Glenn's going to be, no fans. Like, he didn't want it for minicamp, but I think it's different for training camp. Training camp's fun. Every team does it. And it's an opportunity for the Jets to connect with their season ticket holders when they do the activations around One Jets Drive, and you can bring your kids and go to the gift shop, and they have the blow up, football toss and the different tackle dummies things that you could do. Like, they try and make it kid friendly. Big fellow with a super chat. The way we get to the next 60 shows is the Gator Song Tournament. Also, an on-location AsManiac Beach Day. Could you imagine an on-location beach day and Charles Gorman is there shirtless?
It's time for paying Charles to shave.
What the hell? You started already?
Well,
You're
you
supposed to
were-
do it on the air when I introduce you. What are you doing?
Shaving.
You were not supposed to start yet.
Sorry.
You're supposed to shave on the show. If you started shaving before the show, that doesn't make any sense. It defeats the whole purpose. You just robbed the people of the full experience, Charles. This is one of the biggest mistakes you've ever made in your entire life. People want their money back. This is ridiculous. Your pay's being cut in half. J-Quest says how much to put him in the hole. $50. 10 memberships. Unbelievable. How do you look yourself in the mirror right now? Rick Kent says he's not even using shaving cream. No wonder why he cuts himself.
I am using shaving cream, actually.
How's the hole, Charles?
Great.
What you did is disgraceful.
Sorry, everybody. Actually, the hole's not that bad. It's actually very comfy.
Nick Sean writes in, does Charles getting in this hole mean he's still a virgin?
Yes.
You brought such shame to this community, Charles.
Don't know what else to say.
Is there anything Charles could do to try and get some sort of redemption? Dave Brigga says shave the chest.
Fine, I'll shave my chest.
It is on you now to come through for the Asmaniac community. Otherwise, you go right back to the hole, buddy. Oh, good Lord. This is what the people want on a football Friday. Why are you doing it like that, Charles? This is how you ended up with a wound that we're still discussing weeks later. Up and down, not in a circle. Good Lord. North and south. I don't even think anything's happening. I don't want you to murder yourself live on the air. That could be a problem. I thought you have an electric shaver, like a buzzer. Is it even on?
It is on, yeah.
I don't hear the bzzz.
It's on, Jake, look.
Shout out to anyone still watching this. At first, he was going like this, like with a circular motion with an electric razor. I'm like, what are you doing? Salem says, imagine this is the first video you stumble across. Oh, good Lord. Charles.
Yes?
What are you doing? This is what happened last time Charles shaved. Good Lord. Oh, good Lord. Here we go. He's using a straight edge now. Oh, this could end poorly, folks. Why aren't you using shaving cream? Don't use razors. This is not a good idea. Do not do this. Oh, good God.
Oh my God, we're gonna watch a man cut his own chest open and bleed out on YouTube, aren't we?
You're going too fast. Slow down with the straight edge, Charles.
Yeah, you gotta. No. Stop. This is unwatchable. Charles.
Yes.
You want to go like little stabs at a time. You don't want to drag it 12 inches down your chest. There you now rinse the razor out. Because you're quite a hairy little young man.
I inherited that from my father.
Thank you for that info.
He's going to get bumps the way that he's doing it. He's going to be itchy as hell tomorrow. I think we should cut it.
Charles, do you own aftershave?
No.
Well, that could be an issue with the itchiness.
He's got to learn his lesson, Mike.
And you know what? People paid good money for him just to shave his face.
That was a good stroke. You got a lot going on there. That was good.
Hey, now.
And you got to keep the razor clean out of the hair. You got to keep rinsing it out underneath.
Jake, how many people are online watching this?
189 people are tuned in live right now.
Go get it for yourself.
Looks pretty smooth. GTA, the fuck did I just tune into?
I don't understand how this guy keeps raising the bar on call-ins to YouTube shows. He is one of one.
Ralphie writes it. This isn't going to end well for...
Look.
Pretty good?
All right, I'm good.
Is that it, Charles? We're done right now?
Yes. I'm still getting paid, right?
Yes.
Well, because Nick and I are going to be... I'll see what I...
Did you just pinch both of your nipples? Stop! Stop!
It's a family show, Chuck. Ladies and gentlemen, Charles Eugene M. Gorman. This is what you missed if you tuned in late. How would you feel about this being our new channel emoji, Charles? That's a pretty big honor to get a channel emoji.
You have been watching Charles Learns How to Shave on the Jake Asman Show.
Charles Gorman, one of one. Thank you to Gator for editing that masterpiece. Comments, questions, super chats, home stretch of the show. Coach Nick Shine is on the line. Hello, Mr. Shine.
What's up, sir? How are you?
I'm fantastic. How are you?
All right. So we have a Charles hiccup that I caught in my brain at 5:30 in the morning when I couldn't fall back to sleep. The other day, we bring him into Burger King. I'm talking to the woman that I know, and he's typing on his phone and doing the application right there instead of like being present in the moment. And then it clicked in my head that when he didn't get a call yesterday, can you figure out why?
Oh, no. Did he put the wrong info in?
He uploaded the resume from his phone with the wrong email and the wrong contact number. And 5:36 in the morning, this clicks in my head today. So I texted him. I emailed him the resume you sent. And I was like, Charles, re-upload this. I'll reach out to my friend and let her know that you put a second one in with the correct contact info.
Good God, man. He is such a wreck.
Charles Gorman, man. Never stopped.
Unreal.
And he did not sound happy with his 10:07 wake-up call this morning when I called him.
What a bum. Charles, get your life together. Bum.
But hopefully this gets corrected, because I sent him a message yesterday. I was like, hey, did they reach out to you? He's like, no. And for some, you know how things just click in your brain in the middle of the night for no reason? And I'm like, son of a bitch, he uploaded the wrong resume without the right info.
God, he's such a mess. Good job recognizing that, though, man. That's why you're the coach.
He's Charles. It's never ending, man.
It's amazing.
Yeah, the couple ideas that I've heard to get us through the next couple weeks are pretty good. I know you were watching the other night. We're going to have a little Charles Fitness program every Sunday night. We tried to get him to do 10 sit-ups. He couldn't do one. He did 20 push-ups. Some people are questioning the push-up technique, if it was correct and if it should count, but he was soaked, Jake. You saw him. He was absolutely drenched, as if he just sat in a sauna for 20 minutes. And we're going to get Charles in shape this summer, man. It's the summer of Charles Gorman, ladies and gentlemen.
It really is. It's just, Charles is a lightning rod, man. He is unbelievable. You just never know what he's going to do.
We got to ride the Charles Gorman tsunami wave right now, because he's destroying everything in his path.
God, I truly hope that if he is able to lose some weight, he keeps it off, because we don't want a full Bobby Midnight situation.
That's a very good analysis there, Jake. That's why you're the top guy.
Thank you, Coach.
If I'm the coach, are you the general manager? I'm Glenn. You're Mooji.
Sure. I'd be happy to be the Booge here. You know, I provided the updated resume. I feel like I made a important contribution, and yet he didn't even use the right resume after all that.
Yeah, you're up in the you're up in the suite. You're making all the executive decisions. You're making the moves behind the scenes, the analytics, and then I'm out on the field on the sidelines in the coaching.
I want to support you to help you do your job. You know, you're the leader, you're the coach, you're the man making it happen, and my job is to be a supportive executive here to make it as easy as possible for you to do your job at a high level.
Is it too soon to ask for a raise?
That would require me getting paid in the first place.
Well, we got to get Charles getting paid first, right?
Yes. I think a minimum wage at Burger King is not exactly going to be a massive take-home if he's only working a couple hours to start per week.
All right, so I should not resign from my job. All right, I got it.
I would stick with your day job for now.
All right. Good point. Thank you. This is why you're the general manager. You're the brains of the operation.
Well,
awesome.
Coach Shine, well done. That is a significant update, so I appreciate you calling in.
Yeah, we'll have an update maybe tomorrow, and hopefully we'll get some traction here.
Ladies and gentlemen, Coach Nick Shine. Great call by Nick. God, Charles is unreal. Imagine if Nick just didn't remember that Charles sent the wrong thing. How long would this go? Would be like, wow, is Charles being stood up by Burger King? We had a verbal agreement. Is this when Anthony Barr told McCagden he was signing with the Jets and then reneged? Is Burger King Anthony Barr? Talking Dom writes in. Jake called out a few callers. Thankfully, they didn't call in. Who is Talking Dom? It's no way this is just some random jabroni. It's someone under the alias Talking Dom. We'll figure it out. We always do. But this Talking Dom guy is not some rando. He's a daily viewer of the show, operating under a different persona. We will get to the bottom of it. I have just the guy. Beast, who do you think it is?
I don't know. I'm not going to comment on that. I'm just looking at my USPS trackers because I got something coming in the mail today.
Oh, what do you have coming in?
That final Dragon Force album that I've been trying to get my hands on for quite a while. It has the song. They covered Ring of Fire from Johnny Cash, which was very Ooh, up the bar and up the bat. And if I were you, kid, stay indoors. It's going to be a sticky heat wave. We got a heat wave coming.
Oh, baby.
We're having a heat wave, a tropical heat wave. Temperature's rising. It isn't surprising. She certainly can. Can.
Hey, Beast.
Que pasa, amigo?
Yesterday, I received this image of Charles Gorman's stomach. What are your thoughts?
Oh, take that off. That's disgusting. Take it off. Cut it off.
What's wrong?
It's gotta go. I don't like that. That's disgusting. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That just looks wrong. It's wrong. Come on, man. I was hearing about this morning about the ESPN guy talking down to our boys like, nah, I don't think so. It's called, hey, you leave Aaron Glenn alone. Aaron Glenn's his own boss. Okay? He's the coach. He makes his own rules. It's called, let the man be. Aaron Glenn's the boss. Just remember that. And we're not answering questions of stupidity on this team. No, we're going to play by our own way. And this, take it off. I'm sorry, take it off. Take it off.
Hold on, my computer froze. Stand by. We might have to do another minute or so like this. Can you handle it?
Do escape, control, and ALT. Do those. Do escape, control, and alt, and then that should take it right off. Try it that way.
Hold on. Control, alt,
and yeah, escape, control, and alt, and then do it that way, and then it should give it a go. Get rid of it.
All right, hold on. Stand by. Bzz, 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 bzz. Hey, it's overriding. It's not working.
Try a restart.
All right, hold on 1 second. Let me restart.
All right, do a restart. Patience, folks. We're trying to find what's going on here. We're having a little technical problems, and we'll wait. Patience. But I'm going to say this: Aaron Glenn is his own boss. He makes his own rules, and the media. I'm going to say this to the media: hey, if you don't like what you see here, hey, take a walk. You don't want to be here. Take a walk. Aaron Glenn's not going to answer some kindergarten questions. If you got anything NFL related or football related, do your job. Just give us real questions. No more of this. What are you doing this for? What are you doing this for? Who cares? Just ask. Just give us real questions. Stop giving us a bunch of pity questions. We're not country clubbing anymore around here. Do your part. Do your job. Act civilized. And please, we are not CNN. We're not all these other dumb networks. And ESPN, you better do your damn job because I'm getting sick and tired of you guys. You're crap lately because look at the crap you've been feeding us for almost 20-some years.
And I'm back. Thanks for holding it down, Beast. Appreciate it. All right, one last call, and then we'll get out of here. We'll be back this afternoon. Charleston Jetsrube is next. Hello, Charleston.
That was great, man.
So I had some tech issues. Beast did a nice job holding it down.
Yep. Quick question.
Speaking of tech issues, the man is back underwater, baby. Charleston Jetsrube. Oh, yeah. Beast, it's back. What do I do? Beast, it's back.
Do a restart.
All right, hold on.
Do a restart. That means shut it down 10 seconds, then
Breaking sports news on the Jake Asman Show.
Well, we're gonna have to wait right here because Jake's having a little tech issues with this kind of garbage up nonsense, but we'll be okay. All I'm gonna say right here is these first 3 preseason games, we better start doing something about it. We're gonna take our fist and shove it up the media's ass. That's number one. If we play the Packers, we're gonna bitch slap them a couple times because they don't got nobody. They're weak. And if we play the Giants, you know what's gonna happen to them. They're gonna get body slammed real fast and up and out the door like trash and shit through Shinola. Don't worry, big fella. I already got my phone on standby. So once I get that package and it says it's delivered, you're in good hands. Ding. Now we're really going to get hungry this year. This is what I expect first game. If Rogers comes to our house, he's going to get picked up, body slammed, tossed around like hot salad on a good day. And it
don't know what time it is. A beast breaker, 666. I'm gonna take my fist and shove it up your ass, and then he gotta go.
All right, I think we figured things out. Charleston Jets Rube is back with us, followed by Philly Noodles, and then we're actually done. Hello, Charleston.
That was a great thing with Beast and Charles Belly, by the way. But my question about Charles.
No. Charleston, what's happening? Your phone stinks. Get an iPhone. That's probably it. Philly Noodles, what do you got for us?
Yeah, that's the worst connection I ever heard.
It started promising, and then you could just hear it go zoom.
Oh, shit. All right, so update. I got tickets to the game. I didn't get through the link, but I'm gonna get the tickets for the tailgate through you guys. But I will be at the game. I will be at the tailgate. I'm going to Tampa. It is confirmed. Philly Noodles will be at Tampa. It's going down. I plan to have fun, talk as much crap, especially after week one. Especially after week one. You know it.
Let's hope the Jets are 2-0.
Dude, it'll be the first time that you and Gator McCluskey will enjoy my wrath of Aaron Rodgers after week one.
Dude, I hope the Jets win. Like, do you think I'm not rooting for the Jets to win week one?
No. I'm just saying I can talk as much crap as I want, and everybody should be in the same boat as me.
I mean, if the Jets win week one 10-9 and neither quarterback plays well, I don't know if there's going to be a ton of crap talking. But sure.
I'll give you that. What all right, I'm calling it now. I want 4 scores. I predict 4 scores. 4 scores doesn't mean, I'm thinking maybe 3 touchdowns and a field goal, 24-17 victory Jets, something like that. 24-13. I think we hold back Rodgers because he can't move as well as everyone thinks he can, even after he had a couple of good games last year with his legs, especially that last game. But that's what I'm 24-13 Jets. Week 1. I said it right here. That's it. That's how I'm leaving this crap.
I hope you're right.
It's J-E-T-S, Jets. I love Fireman Ed, too.
I hope he's right. That'd be great. 24-13, Jets win week 1. Sign me up for that. Ladies and gentlemen, Charleston Jets Rube. 3rd time's the charm, perhaps?
The problem was with my iPhone, believe it or not, so I called in for my Android. So, can you hear me?
We do hear you. But now, it's just not his day, folks. I mean, the echo there, it's just, you can't make it up. Maybe YouTube is sending you a sign that they don't want you to call in from the naked colony. All right. Thank you all who watched. You guys were great. Really appreciate all the super chats and the memberships on this first show. We're going to be back in the 4 p.m. Eastern hour. Paul Kilgallen from Badlands will be the scheduled guest. We've had Paul on before. Really knowledgeable, big-time Jet fan. It'll be fun to get his thoughts on everything. He's a bit more optimistic, I would say, than a lot of people on the team. So I'm looking forward to the chat with him. On that note, I want to thank all of you who watched. Can't say that enough. Appreciate all the support. This show would not be a show without the AsManiacs. If you're coming to Tampa, like you just heard Philly Noodles, all the info on hotels, tickets that are significantly lower priced in our group buy. It's all included with your Patreon membership. We promised you access to exclusive stuff. This Tampa trip is one of those times. Patreon.com/Jake Asman Show. Join the Discord, get in there, and join our community. It's a lot of fun. If you sign up for the year, you save 20%, and you get raffle tickets as well. You get 10 if you sign up for the year. So keep that in mind. Again, hit the like button on your way out. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't. I will talk to you guys soon. Go Jets, everybody.
We now go live to our political expert, Vincent.
Your political clown show. That's what you are. Have you ever seen a Green Party activist knock on your door? I haven't.
Helping us change the world. Thank you, B-Man.
Jets got to get this offensive line figured out. Because it doesn't matter who we have on the center, because these assholes can't hold the line. What the fuck? I think there's a little fire over there. Hold on. Oh, Jake, I might need you to call 911. Oh, shit. Oh, Jesus Christ. What the hell's going on here? Oh, my Lord. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh.
The Jets are going to come back. No, they're not. They're never going to come back. They're never going to come back.